What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is the Jose Show. Happy Cinco de Mayo. And today isn't just Cinco de Mayo, today is also the day of the Met Gala, where we're going to be seeing so many stars shine in the red carpet of the Met Gala. Now, it is highly predicted that Nick Jonas, Miley Cyrus, Selena Gomez, Ariana Grande, Katy Perry, and so much more are going to be attending this year's Met Gala. Now, who I am so anticipating to see in this year's Met Gala is Ariana Grande, because Ariana Grande never upsets us with her outfits in the Met Gala, and I definitely want to see Nick Jonas, and I definitely want to see Miley Cyrus, that's for sure, because they also don't upset at all when it comes to their looks. Now, I think that they are going to be giving us a really stupendous look, because I'm sure that they really want to make us get so shocked to the point that we are going to fall all the way down to the ground, man. I mean, come on now. I mean, I remember a few years ago when Nick Jonas had that mustache, and then he had that super handsome tuxedo on, and then he had like gel all over his hair. I was so impressed and I was so shocked, because I was not expecting for Nick Jonas to be letting out that mustache all that bold, and I wasn't expecting for him to be dressing so hunky-ish in the Met Gala, because I have always known Nick Jonas to be, you know, of course, very handsome, especially with his outfits, but I would never expect for him to be having that mustache out, and I would never expect for him to be dressing so hunky-ish with the outfit. Like, for example, back in like 2020, I believe, or 2019, if I'm not mistaken, I remember that outfit so darn well, and it really suited him so darn well. And as for Ariana Grande, I remember when she got to dress that beautiful religious-looking dress. I believe it had like a bunch of images of gods all over it, and then she had like this veil all over her head, and then she was like killing it, looking around in the red carpet, and you know, she was posing it out, and she was just, you know, like being herself. As for Miley Cyrus, though, I remember Miley wasn't really dressed according to the Met Gala theme. I remember Miley Cyrus was just dressed like whatever, like, okay, this is just an event, I'm just gonna be dressing in this black dress, and that's it. And to me, it was kind of upsetting, and it was kind of disappointing, because I was really expecting for Miley to be dressing as the theme of the Met Gala. But I'm hoping that this time Miley Cyrus is going to be into the theme of the Met Gala, which I'm not sure what the theme of the Met Gala this year is. And I'm hoping that Miley is going to give us a stupendous look with her hair too, of course, because I mean, her hair has been looking flawless lately, so that's another thing. Now, as for Katy Perry, I'm hoping that Katy Perry gets to be dressing as a normal human being, because I still can't forget that one time when she was dressed as a chandelier. It really made me feel kind of cringy, because it really made her look like she was a toy. And I don't want Katy Perry to be seen as a toy. I want Katy Perry to be seen as a person. I want Katy Perry to be seen as this normal human being. Okay. Now, another artist that I'm also anticipating to be seeing tonight in tonight's Met Gala is Rihanna, because I know that Rihanna is always killing it in her looks in the Met Gala. Like, I remember not so long ago, like about 3 years ago, Rihanna had this dress on her that made her look so darn highlight of the night. Like, it was like a humongous yellow dress, and that humongous yellow dress, man, it made her look like freaking a queen, like a freaking doll. Like, I was just so wowzed up, and I believe that dress was so huge that I believe it was taking over the whole entire red carpet. I think I remember, and I honestly thought it was just very genius, because it really gave out a huge attention to everyone at the Met Gala. I think that she was like the biggest attention of the night of that Met Gala, I remember. And she had that crown on, I remember, on her head. She was basically owning the Met Gala. She was owning it. She wasn't just there. And that is what really impressed me about Rihanna. Okay, now as for Beyonce, I'm not sure if Beyonce is going to be attending, because I know that right now she's in the middle of a tour, or she's just starting her tour, her Cowboy Carter tour. But if she were to be attending tonight, I wouldn't be expecting really good looks from Beyonce too, because I think that Beyonce really is really good with her wardrobe. She has always impressed us, okay? So anyways, as for Shawn Mendes, I think that Shawn Mendes might attend tonight's Met Gala. I'm not sure though because it's been 3 years since the last time Shawn Mendes ever attended a Met Gala. But if he were to be attending in tonight's Met Gala, trust me, I'm sure the guy is going to be dressing super sexy. He's going to be having that really nice tux on, and he's going to be having that really nice hairdo on, and he's going to be having it slicked back kind of, and then he's going to be showing it off with that necklace that I'm sure he's going to have on, and all of that other stuff that really is gonna make me wowsed up. I don't know, but I'm hoping that he gets to attend because of that, because like I said, Shawn Mendes is a hottie. He is sexy. I mean, come on now. So anyways, I really am happy though that this Met Gala is still going on to this day, because it really proves a lot of fashion. It really proves a lot of improvement in fashion. It really shows off, the representation on, how these A-list celebrities are looking, because I mean, yes, they are looking according to the theme of the Met Gala, but yet again they're giving out a representation on how they would dress according to the theme of the Met Gala, which to me is really impressing. But anyways, I really cannot wait until I get to see what's gonna happen tonight at the Met Gala, and I'm gonna be talking about it right after that, that's for sure. All right, now on to the next topic. Now let's talk about Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox. So Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox seem to be shelving their personal chaos, at least for now, for their baby girl's sake, because the two were just spotted out and about for the first time since the birth. So there are some pics from TMZ that show that Megan and MGK were deep in co-parenting mode during their first public outing since their baby's March debut. Spotted grocery shopping at LA's Boogie Fab, Erewhon on Sunday. Alright, so MGK strolled out with the green juice in hand, looking chill as ever before sliding into the car with Megan, who casually handed over the driving reins as they cruised off together. Alright, so it's a pretty big deal to see them back together, especially after things got tense when they officially called it quits on their roller coaster relationship in December. So this is all according to TMZ. So this is really insane that Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox are together and they are getting along and they are co-parenting. Because I was expecting for these two to not make it into the relationship and to be co-parenting separately. Because I noticed that a lot of things were down between them two. A lot of hatred, a lot of fighting, and this and that. And I was so sick and tired of hearing all of that, because I wanted to see a lot of love, a lot of serenity, a lot of respect in between these two. Okay? But I think that what happened here was that the therapy sessions that they would attend actually worked after all, because it actually made them wake up and realize that they are parents and that they need to unite as parents and that they need to have a lot of clarity in their own co-parenting life as much as in with their love life. And I think that since these therapy sessions have been working out, I'm hoping that maybe from now on there won't be any more violence, there won't be any more hatred, there won't be any stupidity. I really am hoping that that ends up being the case. Okay, now these two have been together for several years now. I think that at this point they should really be understanding that. Okay, now I also believe here too that it's really insane how Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox, they are not doing anything to separate themselves. They are not doing anything to stay away from each other. Because what I'm noticing is that and according to the photos that I've seen on TMZ, is that they are, driving in the same car together, they are grocery shopping together, and they are, doing what people do, especially couples do. And that to me is already a really good sign of unification, and it's not a sign of them wanting to plan on distancing themselves or to plan on, hating on one another or to plan anything against one another. And that's a really good sign. So So that's also another thing that I'm noticing as to why I think that these therapy sessions are actually working out and they're actually not a waste of their time. And I am so happy, by the way. I am so darn happy because really, I really think that it is about damn time that I get to be seeing a reconciliation instead of a divorce and instead of a violence or a physical violence going on. Because, a lot of times when it comes to these relationships, I mean, we get to be seeing a bunch of physical violence going on. We get to be seeing a bunch of hatred going on, and then the divorce goes on, and then the arrests go on, and then the restraining order goes on. It is chaotic. And I was afraid that that was going to be happening, by the way, in between Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox, because I mean, as peaceful as Megan Fox looks and as peaceful as Machine Gun Kelly looks, you never know what happens in between them two, especially behind the closed doors. I mean, really. I mean, we might see a face in the public, but deep down, we don't see their hearts. That's the thing. So, anyways, I think that with all of that being said, their hearts might be as good as their faces, So, with all of that being said, I wish nothing but the best for these two, especially for the child, because, man, I would feel so bad if things were to go bad, especially for the freaking child, man. All right, now on to the next topic. Now let's talk about P. Diddy. So Diddy's got all sorts of emotions as jury selection begins in his sex trafficking trial, and he sounds anxious. So the Bad Boy Records founder is in court as potential jurors are questioned by the judge, and at one point Diddy spoke up to reveal some of the nerves he's feeling. Okay, so this is all according to TMZ. So this is insane. I think that P. Diddy deserves to be locked up in prison for the rest of his life for sex trafficking and for being such a demon, because this man is not just a demon, he is also a danger to society. And I believe that he deserves to feel nervous, he deserves to feel scared, he deserves to feel all of the negative emotions of the world, because he put everybody, all of his victims, through those emotions for so many years and also forced them to keep quiet. Okay, so I believe that he's basically getting a taste of his own medicine, and I am happy about that. I think that this man shouldn't even be fighting to get out of prison. He shouldn't even be fighting for anything at all, and he should just accept his own darn mistakes for all of the things that he has done, for all of the harm that he has done, for once and for all. And I don't want to be hearing any more about this guy anyways, because every time I hear from this guy, it's just a bunch of stupidity on how he feels and how he is and this and that. And I just want to hear that he is in prison and that's it. Okay, I'm just saying. And whenever I get to be thinking and looking back at the accusations that he was receiving about him being a sex trafficker and him drugging people, and then also making people sign a contract in order for them to keep quiet from his freak-off parties. And I believe that Beyonce and Jay-Z were participants of all of that, to be signing the contract and to keeping quiet, by the way. It really makes me sick, because it really comes to show that he was playing dirty all along, and that he was making himself look like the good person all along towards everyone that supported him and that looked up to him, so that way people can continue to look up to him and support him. And then, of course, he can continue to be doing his dirty stuff behind their backs. It has happened not just with him, it has happened with so many other people in the Hollywood business, unfortunately. And I am so sick and tired of hearing all of that, man. I mean, Justin Bieber, unfortunately, was among the victims that was highly affected by P. Diddy, let's remember, because Justin Bieber, I believe, was in those freak-off parties, which, by the way, at the time, Justin Bieber wasn't even the age of 18 yet, I'm pretty sure, when he was already in these freak-off parties, and he was getting provoked by P. Diddy. And it was so bad to the point that Justin Bieber ended up traumatized, and he ended up not okay after all of those things. And that was the reason to why Justin Bieber ended up getting into so much legal trouble doing drugs. He ended up, of course, acting weird, throwing eggs at houses, I remember, and etc., etc. And yes, then he found peace with Hailey Bieber several years later, but now recently it's like Justin Bieber's still kind of off because of what he went through in the past, and I don't blame him. So with all of that being said, ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to be finding yourself a role model and you're going to be finding yourself somebody to be working in the music business with, you should be finding somebody that is actually loyal, kind, and that is clean, and that is actually a very good person, instead of somebody that portrays to be a really good person, but yet they are a very bad person deep down, and they will do whatever it takes to be harming you, like P. Diddy, for example. That is my number one advice to all of you guys that are watching this. So please be careful and just stay out of all of the trouble, especially from the people like P. Diddy. Okay, now on to the next topic. Now let's talk about Brooklyn Beckham. So Brooklyn Beckham and Nicola Peltz's absence from David Beckham's 50th birthday is all due to family tension, because apparently TMZ learned that they tried to meet up and celebrate David privately, but they were rebuffed. Alright, so apparently, sources familiar with the situation tell TMZ Brooklyn and Nicola flew to London last week for the sole purpose of celebrating David. So apparently the two reached out to the fam ahead of the big weekend, and TMZ was told, asking them to get together privately before the birthday festivities. However, the request didn't go over well with the other family members. Alright, so anyways, there were sources saying that Brooklyn and Nicola were told to show up to the main celebrations or they wouldn't get a chance to see the fam, leaving the two saddened because they simply won't be around Brooklyn's brother Romeo and his girlfriend Kim Turnbull. Alright, and this is all according to TMZ, by the way. Now, this must suck, man, that the family is over here separated without seeing one another, because I think that it would be nice having to get together as a family to be celebrating a birthday, especially a 50th birthday. Come on now. Like, there should be so much respect, so much love, so much cuddliness, so much, unification in this point. But I just think that it's just so darn weird at the same time, man. I mean, I'm already getting suspicions here. I'm already thinking what the heck happened here with this family. I don't know, man. I just feel like something weird might be happening here as to why there was an absence going on here with the birthday celebration. I just feel like maybe Brooklyn and Nicola were just, okay, well, maybe there is just something toxic going on in between the rest of the Beckham family, which is why we just want to stay away and we want to focus on ourselves. Or maybe, hopefully, something busy happened with them. Maybe something important happened to them, which is what intervened with them attending the birthday celebration. Because stuff like that can happen too. So, and I'm hoping though that is the case. I'm hoping. But anyways, if something bad is actually happening here, I'm not sure if we're going to be the first people to actually know about this, because I don't know. There's just something that tells me that the Beckham family is kind of private with what is going on between them. And if that's the case, then that's the case. Oh well. But I would really want to know what's going on. Okay? The Beckham family, let's remember, they are a very important family. They are rich. They got all of the money. They, of course, are highly well known, especially over in the UK. And of course, there's, one of them is involved with sports, and, they are well known for that as well. And of course, I believe one of the Spice Girls is involved in the family, of course. So I don't know. That could also be one of the reasons to why, like I said, that there was this huge absence going on from Brooklyn Beckham and from Nicola Peltz. I don't know. But anyways, that is it for today's show, ladies and gentlemen. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's lovely episode of The Jose Show. Till next time, and peace.